if indeed you're serious about contending for something important this season, these are the sort of games that you cannot lose.
I suppose we need to talk about Aston Villa right now as well, Nedum, and what they're doing.
Yeah, I think they've been very, very good. I think when you saw that first game of the season where they lost quite convincingly to Newcastle, I think the scoreline was high, but some people said, well, there were positives in the performance. And then from there, they went on a great run. I think it's 13 home wins in a row that they managed to get. And I think in the last year since Emery's been there, I think they've accrued 77 points. It's very, very positive. And as you look at the way that the team play, it's a nice attacking style of football. They want to try and control possession. You see players within the side that are very comfortable. You see Watkins in the form of his life. You're seeing him be more efficient. You're seeing him step up and score big goals in big moments and not lacking belief. Even when the backs are against the wall, you know that they've got more in there. And as we saw today with the manager that isn't shy to make changes at half-time within a game, to bring on Tielemans, to bring on Bailey. Those are two big calls. Cash has been very good for them for a long time this season. Same for the Derby, but he knew that was the right thing to do. And the team went out in that second half and made a better account of themselves. And now, you know, it's a third of the way through the season. And was it the 2 points, 3 points off top of the table? And it makes sense because they're one of the best sides in the league. They look very comfortable, and you know there's more to come from them as well. So fair play to them, and that's a very, very big away win for them as well.
Credit to Unai Emery as well, Ali Moreno.
Yeah, and again, I just mentioned the lack of in-game adjustment from Spurs and recognizing what the game is calling for. Unai Emery, from even going back, I'm not even going to talk about his time in Arsenal, his time in Sevilla, this is a guy that knows how to win games with those in-game adjustments and decisions. And look, he sees the opportunity in this match on a counter. We can hurt Spurs. Yes, we're hanging on a little bit defensively, but the easier thing to be done here and the most obvious thing would be, well, you know, we're just going to absorb pressure. We're just going to add numbers to get behind the ball. Instead, you put in players that give you an outlet in the attack, that give you purpose, that give you a threat going forward. And that, I think, sends a message to your players. We're not just here to defend. Like, they're pushing us back because they're playing well. They're pushing us back because they have quality, but we have quality ourselves. And when we get the opportunity to do so, let's get forward. That, I think, is a decision that the players would appreciate and responded with what I thought was a really good win for them, and one that they would look at and say, yeah, we got fortunate at some point, but when it came to winning time, we make the plays. Spurs didn't.
Who finishes higher, Shaka, Spurs or Villa?
Right now, I have to say Villa. Listen, I love everything that Postecoglou is doing with Spurs, but you have to say the job that Unai Emery continues to do with Villa. In terms of man management, Ollie Watkins really is playing best football of his career. And I think a lot of that goes down to Unai Emery and how he has man-managed him. And then they are able to make adjustments to counter in ways that don't seem... Now, he had to take off Matty Cash. Matty Cash was on a yellow and flirting with red. So that was kind of forced on. But then Diaby comes out, and then he has Bailey and Tielemans still playing that 4-4-2, but between the two of them kind of exchanging positions. And it gave this inexperienced, well, maybe inexperienced isn't the right word, but second string Spurs centre-back pairing a real problem. They didn't know what to do. And the second half was all about Villa. So to Ali's point, Unai Emery continues to make adjustments, in-game adjustments, that are needed. And this is a team that just continues to astound. And kind of oddly, doing it under the radar. We've sat here and spoken about Spurs and Postecoglou all season long, and it seems as though Villa has been a little bit of a side note to that. Now all of a sudden, Villa are the ones in the top four, and it almost as though we're wondering how that happened, when they've consistently been good.
All right, final question on this game then for you, Nedum. How much did you enjoy watching it today?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, to be honest. I do really enjoy watching Spurs in general, especially at home. And I think when I saw the team that Spurs put out, I thought, well, they're not going to be on the back foot here for sure. So they were very much on the front foot, and it affected Villa. But then I think we got a chance to see really good coaching today because the adjustments were made by Emery, and Villa themselves were very much on the front foot as well. It was a shame to see Benton Cole be injured after having so long out. But that was a fantastic game of football, and it felt like a game of football between two sides that will be knocking on the door for those Champions League spaces this season. So hopefully they can continue doing so. But again, I've got to mention, Emery made the adjustments, but perhaps for Spurs, they couldn't make the same adjustments in a positive manner